It's your boy Conservist 34, and you're watching This Week in John Mayer. So, me and John Mayer go way back to around 2007. This is the time he's on Chappelle's show. He's popping in on Graduation. That's Kanye West's album and does Bittersweet Poetry. And I just was like, this dude is pretty dope. Like, I thought he was just like a pop star. Your body is a wonderland. I was like, it's a lot more than that. So I started off with Continuum, right? You know, yeah, that's the sheet music for Continuum. And then I worked my way back. Heavier Things. Yo, this dope. Split Screen Sadness, all right, this lit. Wheel, Wheel, that's lit. And then I went back to Room for Squares. And then your boy went back to, look at that. Inside One's Out, okay? And then I even started getting to some of these B-sides, like Tracing. You know, I was like, oh, Tracing, okay. Okay, Johnny, Tracing. And then I put the poster over my bed in my dorm room, and my girlfriend at the time was like, what? Yeah, I had a John Mayer poster over my bed in college. Let's take a look. So going into junior year, a couple weeks after my first John Mayer show, I had to get the John Mayer poster over my bed. My girlfriend at the time was like, what's going on? I'm like, I'm with you, but I really like John Mayer too. So I had to rep him. And, you know, it was all good. It was just a funny joke. But at the same time, this was a big part of my John Mayer fandom because this was a couple weeks after my first John Mayer show in Hartford, Connecticut in early August. You know, Train opened up for them. Train opened up. So they did The Boys of Summer. Pat Monahan from Train pulled up on John Mayer's set. They did The Boys of Summer. It's a lit show and a lit tour. So that's really my first John Mayer experience. And then the poster, boom, right over the bed. And just like Death Cab for Cutie followed someone into the dark, white people, I followed John Mayer into the dead, okay? I had listened to them in the mid-2000s. It didn't click at the time. I was more into the blues, the B.B. Kings, the Claptons, the Stevie Ray Vaughns, and even the Almonds, which would get me to the dead, okay? Because the Almonds were a jam band as well. So I just couldn't get there yet. And slowly but surely, Fare Thee Well comes around, and I start kind of, I listen to it again. Okay. And then John goes with Dead and Company. And in 2016, I go to my first show. My boy Dave has some connections through his pops. We get soundboard tickets right at the soundboard. Perfect sound, looking right at the stage in Citi Field. And that's when, okay, I'm on the bus now. I'm riding this bus until the wheels fall off. I mean, set 2 of that show, trucking, he's going to help slip to Franklin. What? That was dope. And then at the end of the set, we get the China Rider. Okay, boom. That's when I was like, okay, this is something special. Okay, set 2 of my first Dead and Company show. Now I'm invested in John Mayer, Dead and Company. I go 16, I go 17, I go 18. Didn't go this year because I was at some other shows, but I had to go see Phil and Friends, you know, to represent the Dead and see something Dead related this year. So that's where now I'm invested in not only John Mayer solo, but John Mayer Dead and Company. And here we are. So my goal with This Week in John Mayer is to just talk about This Week in John Mayer. Talk about some new additions to the set list. Talk about some cool things he's doing. Different solos via fan-submitted videos that I can watch via stream. Shout out to the people who stream these shows, you know, on the Periscopes and on the Instagram Lives and even post it up to Twitter. Because it helps everyone like me who's obsessed with John Mayer to see what's popping when we can't make the show. So we want to first talk about some of the tour debuts for this week. I'm talking Philly to NYC. The first shows out of New England start for this past week. So tour debuts. Philadelphia Freedom. We get a couple in Philly in Wells Fargo Center. Whiskey, Freebird Guy. Okay, those are the 2 that we get in Philly. And Freebird Guy is a ode to the person who yells out Freebird. So it's a pretty cool improv there that we get. And Check it out if you go to setlist.fm or you go to search Freebird Guy in Google or search it on YouTube. You'll find different articles or videos of fans that recorded that. Shout out to the people who got that on film so we could listen to it and laugh. DC, okay, DC comes in and they get Stop This Train tour debut. I thought it was going to premiere, I think I said in Philly it was, and I was like, when it didn't come in Philly, I'm like, all right, it's definitely, I'm betting my house on that it's going to be played in DC, and it was really cool to see that back. And then we get a Pete Townshend cover debuting in DC, Let My Love Open the Door, and this is a song that he will then play the next night in NYC mixed with The Age of Worry. Okay, so in MSG Night 1, you get a mashup of both, or kind of a combination of both. And then in NYC Night 1, we get the Jerry Garcia cover, Deal. Wait till that deal go down, okay? So this is a song I really like from when the Grateful Dead cover or when Jerry Garcia band does it. Really cool song. And, you know, the crowd was going nuts. You could see in the videos it was going nuts. And especially the Deadheads that in NYC that were like, look, I'm going to see, I hope there's a Dead cover, and there was. And then last night, MSG Night 2, John Mayer throws a curveball. He gets on Instagram Live just like he did when I was in Providence, and he'll probably do this throughout the tour. This is during the set break. People are getting sodas, going to the bathroom, buying merch, and he pops on the screen at MSG. He pops on IG Live, and he starts talking. People go nuts, all right? The crowd, ah! And he says, look, the first set, you notice it didn't have Continuum on it, right? Second set is going to be all Continuum. Plays Continuum front to back. So what do we get? We get Heart of Life tour debut, Bold as Love tour debut, In Repair tour debut, and I'm Gonna Find Another You tour debut. That's 4 Continuum songs that are debuted for the first time on this North American leg of the world tour. So that's great. And I mean, that was a special night last night in MSG. Now, to my knowledge, no guests. And I thought there was going to be a guest because NYC, like Alicia Keys pulls up or someone else pulls up. And, you know, we've had guests even in the other part of the tour, the first leg of the tour. Ed Sheeran popped up, and I believe a couple other people. So I thought it was going to be NYC. They didn't get it. It is what it is, man. Continuum front to back. That's crazy. What else are we going to get? We got Continuum, and he pulls up. He has the vinyl on the IG Live and goes, look, Continuum, we're going to play it. So what are we going to get? Are we going to get a heavier things? Are we going to get a like another album, older album, like Room for Squares? Is he going to play that front to back? Who knows? But he did Continuum, and I'm looking forward to seeing if he does do another one. Speaking of heavier things, I hope that we get the fans get more heavier things at these upcoming shows. It's an underrated album to me. I love like Only Heart, Clarity, Split Screen Sadness, Wheel. Ooh, Wheel is just, I mean, that's a song that's deep, okay? And Bigger Than My Body, that's another song that's a single friendly as well that people will kind of, oh, I remember that. So I would love to see more of this. We've gotten Daughters and Something's Missing from that. And Something's Missing was a partial when I went to the first show in Albany. And Daughters has been played, you know, in the acoustic sets. Everyone, people start crying. You know, people start saying fathers be good to their daughters. And the fathers taught the daughters how to be good, and the daughters are still ratchet, but that's a whole different issue. Other thing I wanted to bring up, David Ryan Harris. Now, if people are new, if you're just seeing what he's doing, the Prince covers into this, I mean, David Ryan Harris has been doing all sorts of segues into slow dancing in the Burning Room when he's toured with John Mayer. I remember 2010, I believe he did one. If not 2010, it was the Born and Raised tour. It's all a blur to me. But David Ryan Harris, that boy could sing, he could play. He's played with all sorts of people, okay? Collective Soul, and I remember I'm a huge Dave Matthews Band fan. He's played with Dave Matthews Band. He's been on one of their live albums. I think it was early live tracks. And then he was at the Gorge in 2014, okay? He popped up to the Gorge, played with Dave Matthews Band. This dude could play everything. And just like me, he's eclectic, okay? Now, I'm not as talented, but I have very eclectic takes. I'll go to Kendrick Lamar, Earth, Wind & Fire, Stevie Wonder, and I'll go to Rush, Linkin Park. I went to the Allman Brothers band that's supposed to behind me, Dave Matthews Band, John Mayer, Billy Joel, okay? Elton John, son, okay? Willie Nelson. Seen him twice in the last year. So I love the eclecticity or the eclectic taste of David Ryan Harris. Homie played in a rock band in the 80s and then started doing all sorts of stuff with different genres after that. And you know, that's, if you like him, please go support him. He's on Spotify and Apple Music. You can buy his albums. He has some solo stuff. And if you like what you're seeing on stage with him, go check out David Ryan Harris. Just search him up and you can buy and support his stuff because he does have his own music that you can support. And that music is great. It's really dope. If you like the stuff he's doing with John at the shows, you'll like his solo stuff. So David Ryan Harris, check him out, support him. And the rest of this band is dope. Especially Isaiah on lead, like kind of the lead guitars, Pino on bass, and you can't forget the soulful singers, the backup singers that John Mayer has on this tour. They taking me to church, okay? I feel like I'm at church on Sunday when I was at the show in Providence on Saturday, and they have great voices. They dancing, they moving with the music. Okay, they getting the jiggy with it. So it's gonna be cool to see them, and it bounces back to the crowd. So check them out. And you know, you have Aaron on drums and the keys player. I forgot his name, but also they doing a great job too. But man, David Ryan Harris and Isaiah and the soulful singers that are doing a little bit of that choir. That's what's making this great. Let me know what you guys think. This is my first episode of This Week in John Mayer. We'll get into more detail on the next show about some stuff that I'm liking that's in rotation. But today, just wanted to lay the groundwork for what I hope is a weekly series. We'll see John Mayer come up. Pittsburgh, boo. Penguins suck. We'll see him come up there soon. But definitely like, comment, subscribe. This was This Week in John Mayer. This is your boy Conserviz34. I'm out. Peace.